That includes Commissioner Masit.
Commissioner Masit, you filed your statement on the 13th of December 2022. You recall adopting this affidavit. Are you aware that she has not filed anything to dispute what you're saying?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that you're aware of.
Yeah.
Now, you then talk about what the commissioner talked about, his oath of office, right? And the legal position. Kindly explain. Was this saying that
on 30, when it came to my turn to speak,
yes,
the chair was giving people opportunity to react, is when I stated that the commission had a constitutional mandate to fulfill, and that in declaring the results, it will be guided by the same constitution and any relevant laws.
So
that is my contribution.
So what are you saying when a commissioner says you declare a specific person before final tallying is done?
At the time, as I said earlier, we didn't even know who was the winner. And in any case, the Constitution defines how to announce the winner. So for me, it was not in order for anyone to assert that somebody should be declared a winner.
So in respect to what invitation was made and supported by Commissioner Irene Masit, are you saying, what are you saying in respect to its position within the Constitution?
It was not in order for any commissioner to make any statements regarding supporting any particular candidate, because we didn't know who was the winning candidate.
Right. As commissioners, did the law allow you to announce a winner before the final declared results are with you?
No.
Could you at all attempt to do it?
No.
Right. We go flow from there to paragraph 32.
Yes.
I believe
at this point, the visiting team from, or should I say the representatives of the NSAC team had left.
Yes.
Because I think the chair had concluded that particular matter, and by saying that he was going to uphold the Constitution.
So the chairman said he'll uphold the Constitution,
yes,
of Kenya.
And so that concluded their mission, because if their mission was to announce a particular person, and at that time we didn't know who was the winner, then by saying we will uphold the Constitution, it meant anybody could be the winner, and whoever that would be, whether it is the person they were fronting or otherwise, the chairman said we will uphold the Constitution.
You'll uphold the Constitution.
Yes.
Let's go to paragraph 32.
And so when
when
the team left, it was around that time that the CEO, who had gone to make printings of the final results, walked in with a bundle of papers.
He walked in where?
Into the boardroom where we were seated.
He was with who?
He was with the director legal, I think, if I'm not wrong. Yes.
All right. Look at paragraph 32.
Yes, the CEO walked in the boardroom with the final results and handed over a copy of the results to each of the commissioners.
So these were the final results after tally?
These were the final results, which is part of the Form C, the summary statistics by county.
Yes.
Because the actual results contains the Form 34As, results of the polling stations, 46,299 of them. And so it was a voluminous document which you could not print given the limited time for all the 7 commissioners. So he had printed one copy of that document, which is nearly 400 plus pages.
He had one copy
Yes.
of nearly 400 pages.
400 plus pages.
Yes.
And then the summary, which actually is part of that 400 pages, 400 plus pages. And the summary is the results by county and gives the overall total for each of the contestants.
So there was a summary for the 47 counties.
Yes.
And what was given, first of all, who was in that boardroom?
Who was?
Who was in that boardroom at that point?
All of us were there.
All of us means all the commissioners.
Remember, the other visitors just walked out, so we were all seated.
You are all the commissioners.
Yes.
So you all got what? A copy of the summary.
A copy of the summary, yes.
And the chairman had the entire bundle.
The entire bundle was available.
Right? Now, when I read at your affidavit, you say that Mr. Marjan walked into the boardroom with the final results and handed over a copy of the results to each commissioner.
Yes.
A debate ensued.
Yeah.
Kindly clarify, what was this debate all about, and was it occasioned by the contents of that results?
The debate ensued. I meant in light of what the exiting visitors had told us, and that the results now was finally with us, and there was a winner in the results as per the summary statistics.
So in the results you were given, who was the winner?
William Ruto.
Right.
Yes.
And then after that result was seen, what is this debate that you talked about in your affidavit?
Yes, the debate was that the results was not to the expectation of the other colleagues of ours who had taken a position that the visiting NSAC members had suggested.
So you are saying part of you had expectations.
Yes, part of us had
Is
expectation,
that
I believe.
part include Commissioner Irene Masit?
Yeah.
And what was that expectation?
The expectation, of course, was a particular candidate other than Ruto to win.
There were only two candidates, or main ones. So what was this particular?
Well, we had 4 candidates.
4 candidates. So what was this particular one that they wanted?
The runner-up candidate as per the final results.
That's Honorable Raila
Odinga.
Odinga. So what was then this debate about?
So the debate now was, having seen the final results and having seen the margin of the results was close. Close in the sense that we had almost 233,211 votes difference between the winner and the runner-up. And so the debate was that these results are too close. Can we force a runoff? That was the debate.
Force a runoff?
Yes.
So what was the Commissioner Irene Masit's position in that debate?
Now, 4 of the commissioners, including Commissioner Masit, they had protested and that the results should be changed in the light of the NSAC delegates' communication.
So
That the
changed by who? By you people, the commissioners?
The commissioners to change.
So what you're saying is that Commissioner Irene Masit and others wanted you
To moderate
usurp
and
the will of the
change.
people
Yes,
and change the results.
yes.
Yes, let's go on.
That the 2 of them, particularly Masit and Wanderi, are of the view that the results should be pushed towards a rerun,
So
because it was a close difference in their view.
did the law allow commissioners of IBC to moderate or do anything to push a runoff?
Absolutely not.
Was there anything within those numbers to allow a runoff?
Absolutely not.
Was there an outright winner as provided by the Constitution?
Yes.
And was that what needed the Commissioner Masit was pushing to be changed?
Yes, alongside others.
All right, now let's go explain then. That is what you're explaining in paragraph 33.
But 33, yes.
Right.
And the debate that ensued is what transpired in the course of the discussion on how to moderate, some of them suggesting moving the winning numbers of 233, 211 to rejected votes so that, a runoff can ensue. So that is the debate that ensued that I had earlier on.
I'm very particular to Commissioner Irene Masit because he's the one facing the tribunal. I need you to tell only what was her position in the debate.
Yes, her position was the position of the other three, that we moderate and ensure that we have a runoff.
Now,
at the very least.
At the very least.
Yes.
Right. Is the very least what they call the win-win situation?
Yes.
Paragraph 33, and what do you mean by saying they wanted a win-win situation?
In the sense that there will be another opportunity for the two front runners to square it out, and that the country would be stable in the event that the clear winner is announced. There would be chaos. That was the message that we were brought. And so to avert that chaos and to give an opportunity for us squaring it out second time, that was the win-win.
Right. Now, was there any legal position for you to take any of them to the rejected votes, as you're explaining in the last two lines of paragraph 33?
No.
Sorry?
No, there is no legal position.
There was no legal position.
Yes.
Now, would you say that your position, I'm reading on the last line of paragraph, last two lines, your position?
No, I said I will not be party to any scheme to sabotage the will of the people. Because these 233, 211 were actually the voices of Kenyans who went to cast their votes. And the people's voices cannot be moderated.
So are you saying some people, and here Commissioner Irene Masit, wanted to sabotage, or what are you saying?
It will look as if there was an intention to sabotage, because if you say, can we force a runoff by putting away those votes in rejected votes, and then it means there is a tie, then that is what it implies.
Okay, then what happened? Let's flow to paragraph 34.
Now the chairman, of course, as usual, he gave opportunity to commissioners to react to the results, and the results reactions is as I described earlier. And when we all made our reactions and contributions, that the chairman came in to say now he will not be part of a discussion to subvert the will of the people of Kenya. And he would declare the winner as per the verified results.
Right. And paragraph 35, flow to paragraph 35 then.
And so once that was happening, he invited us to come and with him to announce the final results as presented to us.
So to come means you were to walk to...
Yes, we were to go to, remember we were having these discussions in the CEO's boardroom, yes, which is a different building.
Yes.
If you know the architecture of the Bomas, it's yes, actually the first building on the left as yes, you go in. And the tally center was a couple of blocks away.
Yes.
And so we had to walk out of that building into the tally center where we were to invite agents.
So the tallying, you were walking in to declare the final results?
Yes.
I want us to watch the clip of what happened as you were walking in, because I think you were the first one leading as you entered, and then I asked the next question. The chair will seek just a few seconds to play the clip as they were walking in. Samson, I think you can explain one or two things so that it save on time. As you walked in, was the chairman with you and the CEO?
As we were walking out, the chair was leading.
Yes.
I was following, and then my other colleague, Commissioner Molu, and the CEO also. All of us walked out together.
Okay, it's here.
With the chair leading, yes.
Let's go back to when they were walking into.
We can pause, just pause there. Now, you can see as you're walking in, led by the chair, the other team appears to be elsewhere. And you've just told us you were together in a boardroom. Please clarify, how did it get to be here, and how did it get to have fracas in a national tallying center in general elections in a country like Kenya?
Now, as I mentioned earlier, the chair invited us to walk with him to the tally center where we were doing the verification process. And so we walked out, and as we were walking out, it happened that we were only 4 of us as we were exiting the building. The chair, myself, and the CEO, Marjan. And we were accompanied by, I think, Director Legal and others to exit that building. So as we were exiting, it was obvious to us our colleagues were not coming with us. So they didn't exit that building.
You left the boardroom?
In the boardroom.
Okay, let's go ahead.
And so we walked, and this is, I think, less than 100 meters from where we were walking out of and where we were walking to. And so we accessed the tally center at the basement, at the back side. There is an access where we were using to access the tally center. So we entered through the back side of the building, and we went up to the first floor, and we went into the commissioner's holding room. And the commissioner's holding room, we invited agents or presidential candidates. And the reason why we invited them was to give them the summary data, the summary county statistics and the final results, which we all had, and then also to show them the huge document of 400 pages plus, which is now the complete Form C.
Up to there, the 4 that you say were left behind, did they have the summary?
Yes, we were all issued the summary.
So, and you left them with a summary of the results to be declared?
They had the summary results with them.
Did they, in the boardroom, raise a valid issue in respect of the manner they were verified or otherwise, apart from the issue of forcing a runoff?
Apart from asking us to declare the results in one way or the other, there was no other issue that they had raised in the boardroom.
Left them with the results?
We left them with the results. We walked out. They didn't walk out with us. And so we arrived at the tally center. We accessed through the back door. We went upstairs to our holding room, and we invited all agents of the presidential candidates. And we issued each agent with the summary results which we had, and asked them to look at the complete result form, and there was a page for agents to sign.
So what you're saying is, before walking here, the agents had the summary of results?
Yes.
Right, go on.
This walking in was actually later. So we went into the holding room, invited agents, 4 of them, explained to them the results have been finalized, and issued them with a results summary.
So these are the agents for the 4
presidential candidates.
So all of them had the summary?
All of them were given the results.
Right, go on.
And they were asked, this is the final Form C copy, which is the 400 pages plus. I can't remember, 460 or 470 pages. And we had asked them, because this is a huge voluminous document, we have not, because we had already issued a notice for announcing the results, we do not have adequate time to print this voluminous document for each one of them. But we had told them we can give them the printed versions plus a soft copy version later, and that they were to look at the printed one and sign the requisite page, because it was a result that originated from the 6 days of the verification, which they should have had the results on their own anyway. So at that point, the other 3 agents for the other 3 candidates viewed the document and they signed.
What you're saying is that what you are giving them is not new, technically.
Not really. The verification was happening for 6 days.
They had the numbers.
They should have had the numbers all along the 6 days.
Right.
So in actual fact, they could only tell us the final figure is correct or not correct.
Because they had the numbers.
Because they are part of the tallying process.
Right. So who signed, who refused to sign?
It's only the agent for Raila Odinga that didn't sign. But he took the summary results and stormed out of the room where we were.
Then what happened?
He wanted to be given days to go through the 400+ pages document, which we told him there is no legal timeline enabling us to allow him that. And so he stormed out and he went right into the floor where the verification was happening and mobilized people. And so as you have seen, after the other agents had signed, and we had said the results, it's not mandatory for us to wait for him to sign for us to announce the result. The law allows us, if an agent refuses to sign, to declare the result. So we said we are going to announce the results after the others have signed. And so we now walked out, and as you can see, it's not the chair leading, it's actually me leading the team walking into the podium.
Yes, and that's when this fracas or disruption happened, or what?
Because the agent of Raila Odinga, that is Kanchori, had gone out, stormed out with the results. He had gone to mobilize his troops down there, and therefore by the time we were arriving at the podium, they were all on the podium.
All right. Now, when you are at the podium, was Commissioner Irene Masit and 3 others with you?
No.
And at what point did you notice what you're seeing in front of you here there?
When the fracas happened, after we walked to the podium and we sat, we were actually engaged into a kind of an argument by the people who came to the podium, and in the course of those shouting matches, you know, they were trying to shout at us, how can you announce results, you have 1 more day, and all that kind of stuff. So after those shouting, then we saw the table that we were seated behind was being turned on us. So at that point, we had to move back from the table to not to have the table, you know, turning on us. And in the process, there was now a commotion. And so we all ran for safety. The chair was whisked away by most of our securities. And I was also part of the people who were trying to exit that particular podium. And so when we went back into the room, now to see what to do next, when we went back into the holding room, is when we saw the split screen.
It's when you noticed the split screen.
Yes.
Now, you recall you had said they had the final results.
Yes.
And was Commissioner Irene Masit on the other side of the split screen?
Yes, she was. The 4 of them were together.
The 4 of them were together.
Yes.
And you are saying they had the results.
They had the results.
Now.
And they didn't raise any issue about the results in the boardroom.
In the boardroom.
Yes.
Now, from the contents of what they said, and having made it outside the gazetted National Tallying Center, did the law allow that? Or what's your position?
The Bomas Tally Center was gazetted as the National Tally Center, and that any results or any declaration of presidential results has to happen in the gazetted Tally Center. And the fact that they were not at the Tally Center and the fact that they said whatever they said was clear indication that there were other games at play, which we ourselves were not aware of.
Why do you say so?
In the first place, the distance between the boardroom where we had the meeting and the tally center and the time we were called the agents, if you add it cumulatively, I think it wasn't more than about 15, 20 minutes. And so for a podium, for them to have been whisked away from Bomas Tally Center, all through Lang'at Road or to Serena, to have a podium completely ready, in place, complete with media presence, it looked something that had been prearranged somehow to us.
So your position, it was a prearranged?
Looks like. Because
Right.
how do you leave Bomas in about 20 minutes and come to a completely set up podium?
And what a statement that Commissioner Irene Masit and the rest made, was that a position of the commissioners? And did you, is it allowed for them to go and challenge the results before they're declared?
They, of course, casted aspersions on the results that the chair was going to announce. And this was contrary to our oath of office.
It's contrary to your oath. What do you say? Why do you say so?
Because we were expected, we were part of the verification process throughout. If you recall, all of them, all of us actually, except me, had did announcements of the various results at different stages.
Did that include Commissioner Irene Masit?
Yes, yes.
As she was announcing results after results and all Kenyans saw her, did she challenge what she was herself announcing?
That's why we were all shocked when they started disowning the results in Serena.
Right. Lastly, and I asked, was that a position of the commission, and was it permitted by the regulations or the act that regulates the commission?
The position of the commission was to announce the verified results which was given to us in the boardroom. That is the position of the commission.
That will be all, Mr. Chairman, and I'll hand the witness to Mr. Donald Kipkorir.
Professor, I like the consistency.
My Lord, if I may be allowed to interrupt, I do confirm that the application is before you and the other members of the team have served counsels. I'll be seeking directions whether it can be canvassed to allow me. He has adversely mentioned my plans so that I'll be part of the team, or I will know that I'll not be part of the team. Kindly, my Lord. Sorry for that interruption.
You know, counsel, there must be some factual basis for the application, isn't it?
Yes, yes, that's what I wanted to lay.
Yes, and did you expect that your colleagues would respond, the persons who we are dealing would respond to the facts that you've deponed to? Now, the other thing is that, do we have copies of the application?
Yes, we've given the clerk to present them to you.
Does it work like that? That we are in the course of proceedings and you are saying you've served my clerk, all of us need to have copies of the application, and have they responded to it, counsel?
My Lord, I'm taking the cue from what the chair said. Once we file, and I don't think any of the councils are going to object, because paragraph 18 and 17 mentions Azimio seriously, and I'm only watching, only raising the question of Azimio. It will not prejudice anybody, my Lord. That is a matter for 2 minutes. Unless anybody objects, then you can give directions that we can argue conclusive with that matter, and councils will be able to respond. It can be dealt summarily. unless there is an objection from this side, which I don't anticipate. Probably, my lord, you can put that question to councils to say if they are objecting to Azimio being part of and parcel of these proceedings.
Again, we haven't seen it. The members have not seen that application. But subject to that, what is the position of Mr. Munge?
My Lord, Mr. Chair and members, the Gazette notice was of 6th December 2022. It was then published for the conference, I think on the 9th of December 2022, inviting people or anyone with issues to bring. At no point has Azimio or any other party even hinted they want to participate, either as amicus, as interested parties, or otherwise. At no point. Even as I came this morning, I did not know. I found my good friend, who is now trying to come on record. We greeted each other. He even never mentioned why he's here. And because it's a public session, I didn't even bother. He has put the documents here. I have no time even to read because it will distract. And to me, I thought it's an attempt to distract me. I didn't even look at them. So I don't think I'm able to comment before we finish with today's, because our minds are clear. We have one more witness for today. Then we can look at what he's talking about and see whether to rebut or not. I don't think you would allow us to be ambushed. We don't know who has signed an affidavit, what is happening through this. I think the rightful thing is let's finish with the witnesses. We look at the documents they have filed. If we need to rebut, we will file affidavits for rebuttal, and the tribunal will make a reasoned decision. It is too late in the day. The petitioners have all testified. 2 other witnesses or 3 other witnesses have testified. Apart from the petitioners, it's a third. So I don't think it's the right time to distract the hearing.
So I think the question would be, will you be, because he says that you have no objection to them joining, will you be objecting, or will you be saying you have no problem with them joining?
I would rather comment once I read it, because I even don't know what is here.
Mr. Donald.
Mr. Chairman, I have the same position like Peter. I haven't seen the application, so I have no position.
Yeah, so it's you've thrown affidavits at them, the application at them, they are entitled to respond. And until that is done, and a decision is made by members of the tribunal, which way, I don't think it would be fair for us to say anything about the application. What is important is that you have filed your application and served. We will make directions on response, which can be done by close of business today. Ms. Donald, close of business today, and together, but on receipt of their response, I will expect that you file submissions. And how long can that take you, filing submissions to in support of your application, so that they can also respond? Because really you're seeking to join as amicus, or just as what? As an interested party, or as what? What is the application saying? What? Okay. What is the application? What is the application saying? Because I haven't seen it. Adversely mentioned.
Having been adversely mentioned, they have a right to defend themselves, or else they'll be condemned without being heard. That is the only issue. And we could not come in from when the Gazette notice was put across because Azimio was not a party until it has been mentioned adversely. That is the reason as to why we are coming too late in this proceedings.
And it's being mentioned by Professor.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the first time that Azimio is getting to know that Professor is going to be a witness. It's the first time you're interacting with his affidavits. Is that the position?
There is also a witness that testified called Lang'at, but we'll not recall that Lang'at. We'll put that position to whichever witness that will be on the dock.
So fine. If it becomes necessary, to recall the witness to deal with that aspect after we make a ruling on the question of joining for purposes of cross-examination, then that will be done, okay? But for the time being, respond by close of business today. Whatever submissions you want to file, put them in, exchange, so that tomorrow morning we will see that material. And you see, we must consider it to be able to give you a ruling one way or the other, isn't it?
Much obliged,
Thank
Chair.
you. Are we satisfied with that?
That's fair.
Thank you.
We are satisfied with that. The matter can proceed.
Thank you very much.
Much obliged.
Counsel, yes.
I don't need the screen, just switch off the screen. Peter, I'm saying I don't need the screen, seeing the screen there. Professor, so we get to know you. Just tell me the title of your PhD thesis. What was the title of your PhD?
I don't think it's relevant to my affidavit.
It is very relevant, Professor. I'm done asking the question. You're not a lawyer. Please, ask my question. What is the title of your PhD? Because you're called professor, so I need to know why you're called a professor.
My PhD was on amino acid fermentation in the rumen.
Just repeat again the title of the thesis.
Amino acids, fermentation of amino acids in the rumen.
So what area of study? This biology?
It's rumen microbiology.
Okay. It's easy. It's not hard, Professor. Last week, you had a press conference. You said you were hiding. Where were you hiding, and from when to when? During the elections period, you told the country you were hiding. I don't know from who.
There has been a lot of insecurity at the Tally Center, as you recall. A number of our staff were abducted at the Tally Center. Many of them are frightened, and there has been a lot of scaring amongst our staff, including ourselves, who were hurt at the Tally Center. And because after announcing the results, we did not know what would happen to any of us, then we decided we were going to go into a safe place as we observed the happenings.
My understanding, Prof, was that you were hiding before the results were announced. Are you now saying that you were hiding after the results were announced?
No, we never hid before the results were announced.
Okay.
It was after the results were announced.
Okay, fine. Just give us the layout of Bomas, the various activities being done at Bomas. Where were they? I mean, the tallying center, verification, where the commissioner's holding room, the CEO's office. Just a brief layout of the structure.
When you enter into Bomas, on your left, the huge building that you see there is where the CEO sits of Bomas. And that's where I think the board of Bomas also has a boardroom there, which is the CEO's boardroom. And since we were using Bomas, our CEO was also given an office in that particular building. At the bottom of the top floor, but at the bottom of that building, our call center. A team of people receiving information in communication with our field staff across the country. So it was our call center. After that, as you move into Bomas, then there is another big building. That is where the verification is happening. And in that building, the setup was such that on the floor of the building, that's where we had the verification desks, which was being manned by our staff and the presence of all agents of all presidential candidates. And on the dais, we had different segmentations. We had a section for media. We had a section reserved for our staff, particularly the returning officers as they come. There was them. We had a section for the presidential candidates and their teams. And we had a section where diplomats and observers could sit.
And the tallying center, where was it?
It's in the Bomas.
Where? What side? How far from there? From the plenary hall of Bomas?
The tally center is at the floor of that building.
Where? In the same place? In the open place? Where was the actual tallying being done? You understand what tallying is?
I told you the tallying was being done on the floor of that building, where the auditorium of that building, in an open environment.
The tallying?
Yes.
There was no other room where the tallying, there was no other inside room for doing the tallying?
No.
The technical team of IBC, or was it, doing the tallying?
All the tallying that was happening on the floor of that building.
Professor, you know you're under oath. That's fine. Give us on 15th of August, the meeting at 3 a.m. when you say 3 people came to see you 3 a.m. In your affidavit, you are mentioning, of course, the 4 commissioners. Is your memory correct? Are you sure Commissioner Nyang'aya was present that day at 3 a.m. in the morning?
As far as I recall, all commissioners were there.
No, I'm asking you, was Commissioner Nyang'aya present? Because all these things, one day we'll know the truth. And I'm just asking you, do you, from your own recollection, do you remember Commissioner Nyang'aya sitting at 3 a.m. with you in that place?
All I can recall is all commissioners were present.
I'm asking you a specific question, Nyang'aya, because at the right time, I mean, we'll know where he was, we'll have call logs and everything else where he was. So I'm asking again, do you remember Commissioner Nyang'aya sitting with you at 3 a.m. in the morning? I'm asking Commissioner Nyang'aya, not all commissioners. Was Commissioner Nyang'aya with you at 3 a.m. in the morning? Is it a yes or no, Professor?
And I'm saying, as far as I am recalling, I think he was there.
Okay. That's good. So, are you able to recollect the words that each commissioner said at 3 a.m. after this visit by the visitors?
No, I cannot recollect all of them, other than what I've stated in my affidavit.
Are you sure Commissioner Irene Masit spoke at 3 a.m.? Did you hear what she said? Did she speak?
As far as I recall, what I have heard is what is in my affidavit.
You haven't said anything there, but I'm saying, you're just saying this, the common position of the 4 commissioners, but I'm asking you specifically. Did you hear Commissioner Irene Masit speaking at 3 a.m.?
The 4 commissioners, one of them was Commissioner Irene.
Did you hear Commissioner? You know, let's not be evasive, Professor. You know, we're here to speak the truth, and one day we'll know the truth. And I'm asking you, did Commissioner Irene Masit speak at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Yes.
Okay. Did you take minutes, Professor?
No, we didn't take minutes.
Why didn't you take minutes? These are crucial. You've told us all along those are crucial, big constitutional obligation, assignment, and you didn't have the energy, temerity to do minutes? Or you were too
At
busy to do
3
minutes?
a.m. in the morning, which secretariat was there to take minutes?
But you can do minutes, or is manual job
There
for
were
you?
no minutes taken.
When those visitors left at 3 a.m. in the morning, 5 visitors from the other side of the political divide in at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Not that I recall.
Okay, one day we'll know the names, we'll know who they are. Because it seems you're talking about against one side of the political divide in your entire affidavit. It's a love letter to one side of the political divide. Well, the next when so at this time 3 a.m. in the morning, you said correctly that when results had not been finalized.
Not yet.
So logically, why will they discuss things which are not there? Why would you discuss results which you don't know? I want to understand the logic. You don't know the results. How can you say you want to discuss results you don't know?
The results were up in the portal, and anyone had access to that portal, and anybody could have done their own tally. So I have no idea whether that is what they did and they knew something that we didn't know.
You know, Professor, you've argued consistently and with so much, I don't want to use the word, about the law. So surely, were the results out at 3 a.m.? Did we have the results at 3 a.m.?
I said we didn't have results at that time.
Yes. When you met the security team in the afternoon, did you have the results at that time when the security team came in?
We did not have results at the time we were meeting them.
So what results are you moderating? So, you know, it's also, we know we must be logical in our thinking, Professor. And thank God you're a professor. And I believe you understand, because logical thinking and cognitive reasoning. So you can't tell us people are discussing results to moderate when there are no results. I just need to understand what results are being moderated when there are no results.
Okay, let me explain.
Yeah.
When the colleagues from NSAC were there, we did not have results. And what I said was, as they were leaving, the CEO walked in with the results. And the moderation happened after the results were received by us.
So, Professor, so what was the message that Kennedy Cherera wanted to take back to whoever sent it, if you don't have the results? So what message will be sent back?
You can only ask him, I don't know.
But it's your affidavit, because you're talking so
The
badly
message
against
he
him.
wanted to take back is compliance with their request.
You want to say they want to sabotage the process, they want to subvert, but I'm asking a logical question. So what do you subvert when you don't know? Something you don't know.
Remember, they have come to tell us if you announce so and so. So it means they anticipated something.
In paragraph 32 of your affidavit, you're saying Mr. Marjan walked in the boardroom with the final results. Mr. Marjan walked the boardroom with the final results and added a copy of the results to each commissioner. Is that your position?
Yeah.
You've told us there was only one copy of the 500 pages. So which copy did he hand over of the results did he hand over to each commissioner?
There's a summary which is part of the 400 pages, which gives the breakdown by county.
I'll show you the summary of the results. Either it's in the affidavit of Chebukati or the affidavit of Wanderi. Just a minute. Wanderi this affidavit. Mr. Chair, I want the affidavit of Mr. Wanderi. This is a volume 2, page 157. Mr. Clerk, just give this to Professor. You can. But give him this. Give him this. That's a 3-page document you call the results. You remember that document, which Marjan brought to the boardroom, the commissioner's room. Is that a copy?
Yeah, this is the results by county.
Yeah, this is 3-page.
Yeah.
That's the one that he gave to every commissioner.
Yes.
So again, Professor, did Marjan give every commissioner the 3-page or the 400-page document?
No, 3-page. Not
3-page.
400. I said there was only one copy.
Yeah.
Of
But
the
in your,
400 page.
yeah, in your affidavit, you're saying at paragraph 32. You're saying Mr. Marjan walked in the boardroom with final results and added a copy each to each commissioner. So
Yes.
which copy did he hand the commissioner?
This result, which
3-page.
is a summary of the 400 page. And it gives
Just
the final result.
Just read again. Just read for the public, page 32. I mean paragraph 32 of your affidavit. Just read aloud. It's not long one. Read aloud paragraph 32.
After NSAC team had left, the commission secretary, CEO, Mr. Marjan, Hussein Marjan, walked in into the boardroom with the final results and handed over a copy of the results to each commissioner.
These are the results you're talking about.
This is the results that he had distributed to all the commissioners,
Yes.
but there was one hard copy for the entire
No, but I'm
400
saying,
page.
Professor, in your affidavit, you're saying he handed results, a copy of the results to each commissioner. And I want us to be clear again for the record. This is a 3-page document that was handed to every commissioner.
Yes, the final results I implied was the final tally. And this page gives the final tally for each candidate.
So this is a report that each commissioner was given,
Yes.
and this is a report that the 3-page that the chairman wanted now the commissioners to join him in announcing the results.
Yeah,
The 3-page. They've
But-
just been given. What time was it again? Was it 4:20? You remember the time they were given this page?
I think the ANSAC people, we had discussions up to around 3. I think it should have been approaching 4. I can't remember the exact time.
It was about 4. My information was it was 4:20.
Around there about.
So at 4, when were the results, final results announced to the country?
But there was commotion and I can't remember. It must have been 6-ish or 5-ish.
So
I
let's
can't
say
remember.
within 2 hours of the final results being given to each commissioner. Results were given to the commissioner about 4:20. The results were announced to the public at about 5, 6.
Around 5-ish, 5 something. I can't remember
So
exactly
it's
time.
timeline of about 2 hours from the time they were given these final
Well, it
results.
can be 2 hours, I think.
Even 3 hours. Even if you
No,
say
no,
3
it's
hours.
not even 3 hours. It should be less than that. Yeah.
Like?
Could be less than that because we spent a little time with the agents
So it's about 1 hour?
and then we went to the podium and that was a fracas.
Okay.
So we had to retreat back into the holding room and then we came out later.
These are the results, the 3-page that Marjan gave to each commissioner. That
Yes.
you wanted, that the chairman wanted it should be the basis for announcing the results.
I told you the chairman had a copy of the complete results
One copy.
and the announcement would have been done by county.
So there is one copy, 400, 500 pages.
400 plus. I don't-
About 500 pages. The chairman wants the commissioners who've been given 3-page document to join him in announcing the results immediately. In fact, he told them they walked the podium to announce the results. They've just been given 3-page by Mr. Marjan. You've told us you were not able to make copies because it is voluminous. It is 500 pages. But you want the commissioners to read 500 pages document and escort the chairman to announce the results of the country.
The document that we were given was a summary of the 400-page document. And therefore, since we were part and parcel of the process of generation of the 400-page document, it was on that basis that we had to look at the summary of the 400-page document, which would have been the basis for the announcements. Yes.
You know, my issue is the logical, I mean, the human possibility. You've been given a 500-page document at 4:20 or at 4 o'clock by Marjan, who just walked in. And the chairman wants you to join them in going to the podium to announce the country the results. And you haven't gotten time to synthesize 500-page document. Is it possible to do, basically to get a document and walk the podium? You're not being given even like 1 day, 4 hours to read the document. Is it possible to do it? I don't know. How long does it take to go through a 500-page document?
My understanding is that the 500-page document was a document that we were part of in creating or during the verification process of the 6 days. And so it's not a document that is coming from nowhere. And so getting the summary by constituency is sufficient for us to make an announcement of the final result. In any case.
And then national tally 34C. Just give him the Elections Act. I want him to. So again, for the record, we see the sequence, which is Monday, because you've told us for the last 1 hour, when being cross-examined, being examined by my friend Peter, about fidelity to the law. So let's be faithful to the law. Let's read section 39 of the Elections Act. Just let him read 39(1)(c). It's again short, very short, but it's mandatory. Let the country know the sequence of announcing presidential results. And you tell us whether you are faithful to it.
Read C?
Yeah, C.
For purposes of presidential election, the Commission shall electronically transmit in a prescribed form the tabulated results of an election for the president from a polling station to the constituency tally center and to the national tally center. Tally and verify the results received at the national tally center, and C, publish the polling station result forms on an online public portal maintained by the Commission.
You haven't jumped the word prescribed in every paragraph. There's no prescribed format in every of the sections you've read.
I've read what you gave me.
Just give me. So, again in the sequence, there is the prescribed form in the polling station, prescribed form in the constituency tallying center, and the prescribed form in the national tallying center. And then it says, you publish online the results. These are the last results of the national tallying center. And then now the chairman announces the results. The last results is Form 34C. Until now, Professor, have you ever published Form 34C in entirety in the public portal?
To the best of my knowledge,
as of now,
the result was in public portal.
I'm saying until now, as we're speaking now, Professor, if we now log in onto IEBC portal now, live here, are we going to get Form 34C in entirety as the prescribed form set on the Elections Act?
I cannot speak for the Commission now, but as far as I am aware, the result was uploaded into the portal.
You know, I'm asking simple answer. The Act says Form 34C in the prescribed format must be published online before the results are announced by the chairman. When were the results published in the prescribed format on the public portal?
The results were actually published from the portal, because when the verification was happening, it was automatically updating the portal. And the final results from C is part of what was available to the public via the portal.
In the Elections Act, Professor, there is the format which is given, Form 34C. Just 1 minute. Because here we're talking about fidelity to the law, so we must take time. Form 34C, Mr. Chairman, is a prescribed form pursuant to Regulations 87, Sub-Regulation 3, Sub-Regulation B. So 87, 3B. And it sets out the format of the Form 34C, which must be published in the portal. And it's very prescriptive. It's very clear on what you give the names. Just let him read the column, what it's, the information is supposed to be in Form 34C. The columns of 34C, which is mandatory format.
It's the polling station code, polling station name, registered voters, and then candidates. That's what you have given me.
So has that ever been published until now on the portal in that format?
The results that were published in the portal.
In that format?
And now the format you are showing me is Form 34B.
No, see.
The one that
go the
you
next
asked
page,
me
maybe you
to
read the wrong one. See. See. This is C. What are the contents of 34C again?
Yeah, C gives the county code, county name, constituency code, constituency name, polling station code, polling station name, and then the candidates. Then total valid votes and rejected ballots.
And that,
Then there is sub-county totals, county subtotals.
so if you are faithful to Form 34C, that form should be about 500 pages. 400, 500 pages. Form 34C.
Thereabout, yeah.
Yes. And it says again in the law that you must publish before the results are declared. Was it published before Mr. Chebukati announced the results on 15th of August? Was it published? The format is prescribed.
The results, as I mentioned to you, were published out of our portal, which means when the verification was happening on the floor, it was automatically updating in the system. And so what was published is what was in the portal.
You know, Professor, you've told this tribunal, and you're being led by Peter, that my client violated the law. So, and you actually supported it. And I want to know from you, what results did you want my client to support when you not publish the results until today in the prescribed format, Form 34C, in a public portal?
As far as I am concerned, the results that were announced was the results that was in the portal.
As I say again, you've told us we must be faithful to the law. You were the team leader of the tallying center. From your own knowledge as the team leader, did you publish the results in the format 34C in entirety, 500 pages?
The results were published in the portal, and the results was being printed from the portal.
When the committees were formed in June 2021, you've told us. Do you remember the members of your committee, elections committee?
Which elections committee?
The committees were formed in June. You told us, which were made you made a member of the committee of the elections committee, but there were other committees by the chairman. He formed other committees.
No, that was not June. It was after the new commissioners joined us.
Yeah, sorry, not June. September. Sorry.
Yeah.
September.
Yeah.
You correctly said Irene chaired the legal committee. You were the chair of elections committee, elections operations.
Operations.
Do you remember the members of that committee?
My committee?
Yes, elections committee as of September 2021.
Yeah, we had Irene and Nyang'aya.
Yeah, so you were three of you.
Yeah, each committee had about three committees.
Yeah. Then a member from the secretariat.
Yeah, of course.
So it was
the
you,
concerned.
Irene, and Nyang'aya. This is June. I mean September when you were appointed to the elections committee. So I want to understand, when the elections was actually done in August, how come the chairman reconstituted committee and removed the other two commissioners and made you the team leader and made Marjana CEO alternate team leader?
That you can ask the chair. But from my understanding is that the tasks that were being overseen by the commissioners were wide and varied. And it is for that reason, and some of the tasks were not directly related to the committee that you are involved in. And so because of the nature of the tasks, the chair had redistributed the commissioners in performing or oversighting various tasks, and yet the actual work was being done by the secretariat staff, because under each commissioner there were commission staff that were performing the actual duties.
The constitution, what does it say about the role of the commissioners in presidential elections? What is the role of the commissioners?
It's mainly to provide oversight.
No.
And policy
It is to verify and tally presidential results. We need to read the constitution. You know, you've been telling us about the fidelity to the law, Professor. So we must be faithful to the law. What does the constitution say about presidential results? I mean, presidential elections. Maybe just need to be reminded the role of your commissioners. Sorry, Chairman, we have to take time on the commissioner because it was very sanctimonious on the fidelity of the law. So we must tell him what the law says. Just give him again. Let him read section 138, 3C. The role of the commissioners. Just read loud.
138, 3C, is it?
Yeah.
In the presidential election, after counting the votes in the polling stations, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission shall tally and verify the count and declare the result. But this is now the commission, the IEBC commission.
You'll pick it from there.
Okay, sir.
Yes. So that.
How about not forget?
Yeah? No. We are all here to remind you.
Okay.
So we'll take 15 minutes break and then resume. Thank you.
Thank you.